It's a great pleasure to welcome back to What's Next, Jonathan Hurvitz, the CEO of Teljoy. And Jonathan, the last time we spoke was, I think, 2021, which is like 4 years ago now. And so much has happened since then. And, we were just talking before the interview about just business and how resilient South Africans are and there's businesses. And I mean, you've been with Teljoy since 2014. And you've been the CEO since 2019. So you've seen lots of ups and downs and, COVID and everything. And over your time at Teljoy, what stands out to you as the reason why, the business success? Because you guys have withstood tough times and you're still here and you're still doing great business at the moment. So what do you attribute the success of Teljoy to?
Firstly, Aki, thanks for having me. As always, it's always great to speak to you. I think, we've seen a lot. I mean, I've actually just celebrated my 11th year at Teljoy, which is quite amazing. I can't believe that time has gone by so quickly. We've grown the business almost 4 times since I started. I think that we've managed to figure out a couple different competitive advantages that we have as a business. We leaned into our history, but we're also aware that we have to keep up with the times. I think whilst, it's been a tough trading time for everybody, we attribute the success that we've had to things like the internal culture. We've got a long history with our customers. Happy people make people happy. So it's important for me, first and foremost, since I took over, to make sure that our staff are happy. It's a safe place to be. It's a great place to work. The macroeconomics, as we were talking earlier, affects everybody. I think that Teljoy is a much more relevant solution for all South Africans, creating accessibility at an affordable price. And really, what I do think is one of our more beautiful success stories is how we've adopted the tech and leaned into the data orientated. For us, we're a business that deals with a lot of household electronics and appliances and a lot of customers, and we've got the luxury of having 56 years of customer data, which left untapped is a waste. So we've really spent a lot of time with the data and making sure that we can service customers the way that we need to, and we believe that they should be.
Sure. How fascinating. I mean, I was 2 years old when Teljoy was born. I mean, 1969, if I'm not mistaken. And you guys installed your first TV set in South Africa in 1974. And since then, you've seen many landmark moments and how Teljoy has continued to drive new trends and innovations in South Africa. And back in 1969, it was a very different world to where it is today. Today, everything's connected, and to your point about the data, it's become a very sophisticated business. But of course, the technology and how we consume media and television, that's changed as well. So how has Teljoy continued to drive all these new trends and innovations in South Africa? You touched on just a few seconds ago on the data, but I'm interested to hear from your point of view.
So I think that initially we were trailblazers. Our founder Theo Ratstein, as I always mention, he really is a stalwart in South African business. I think that he saw a lot of these trends coming long before any of us did. To the extent that TV arrived because of him, cellular arrived because of him. Teljoy Cellular, as you know, was the first telco. In later years, we've really try to focus on the consumer needs as opposed to what we think is innovative. Our job is to create accessibility, as I've mentioned, and more importantly, for brands coming into South Africa that have been untested. Teljoy is an unbelievable opportunity for those brands to get into the market because people don't feel like they're going to be heavily exposed. And because of our model being as flexible as it is, you can try before you buy. And it's an opportunity for brands to come in and get into the market. I mean, I could assure you that we are the part of many brands in South Africa's success stories because it was a much softer landing for guys into the market. And I also think that we've stayed with the times. It's interesting. I was walking through our warehouse the other day and I looked at 10 years ago, we would have looked at a 50-inch TV as an enormous TV. And in those days, we were 32s and 40 inches. Now, I looked at this 50-inch. I'm saying, why are we selling small TVs still? We're selling 86 inches at the moment. I mean, it's incredible how that we managed to keep up with the trends and being able to supply customers. And because of the model, they are always guaranteed a better option. So I think that by expanding our range into most household electronics and appliances has been a great opportunity for us. Most people's kitchens can be fully kitted out with Teljoy. The furniture is doing incredibly well, and the gaming as well. A lot of these products that are there's quite a high barrier to entry. But again, it's all about our job is to create accessibility for South Africans. And that's where I think that we've been successful. And keeping up with the trends in terms of some of the smaller appliances, Smeg, Dyson. I always use the example. I've got 3 daughters and a wife. The Dyson hair wrap in my house is the most important appliance that we own. Not only because my girls want to fight over it, but it's also saved me thousands of rands in hairdressing fees. I can promise you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, look, it's definitely listening to what your customers want. And I mean, that's a great point that you made about the televisions, and how televisions have, and who knows where they're going to go. 100 inches is available, but I don't think people have that much space in their homes. But that's what we said about, 80 inches and above. So who knows? But the truth is that Teljoy is South Africa's original rent to own. If I think of Teljoy, that's what I remember. Rent, and after X amount of time, it's yours. That was the business model. Can you tell us more about credit versus rent to own? Because I'm sure that has shifted in a way, and why rent to own is the better option in this current economic crisis. Well, I call it a crisis, but it is tough out there. But under these current economic conditions that we face in South Africa and globally, I guess it's tough.
Well, I think rental is, it's one of the oldest industries in the world. I think that South Africans, as we'd mentioned last time, we've been brought up with this ownership mentality, whereas many first world countries are very comfortable with rental because it's just an easier way to operate. I think in our world, from a credit perspective, we offer absolute flexibility. We've got an extended warranty where effectively, whatever, 50 months into a rental, if we can't fix it, we'll replace it with something new. You can't get that with the likes of credit. You're only ever 30 days away from changing your situation with Teljoy. So we can upgrade you, we can downgrade you, we can cancel if you so choose. We've got all of the service and everything included. It really is a full maintenance lease, if you will, but really it gives a lot of guys peace of mind, where all of the hidden costs ordinarily associated with appliances and electronics are now covered by us. You've got one phone call to make. We often say, even from a maintenance perspective, we're your best call on your worst day, in terms of service. Because when you've got a house full of people and your washing machine goes down, it's urgent, and we really do try and make sure that our customers are satisfied. But from a credit perspective, you've got equity day one. To get out of that agreement, you've got to either sell it, you've got to settle. There's obviously an interest component. For us, it's, as I said, the flexibility and the peace of mind that you have is something that I think is unique to Teljoy. There's a lot of guys who are trying to sell a similar version of it, but I think that in the detail, our model, and I often look at it. I've got hanging up in my office. I've got the original advert that Theo placed in the paper in September of 1969. And if I look at it, that's the same value proposition that we had all those years ago hasn't changed. Again, coming back to this idea of accessibility over ownership, and again within the affordable limits, it really is an opportunity for South Africans to accumulate in a world now with this emerging youth. There's no generational wealth, so you can't move out of house and say, I'll take that TV, this TV, whatever it is. to lay out all that capital if you're moving out of house is a significant challenge. You can go buy on credit, but then often people may not have the facility. We solve for that. And that's what we're really trying to do. We're trying to make sure that we're keeping our model as accessible as possible to create accessibility for you, the consumer.
Okay. Now, we've been talking a lot about TVs. Is it just TVs that Teljoy does? I mean, what kind of products can one rent to own from Teljoy? And how does that process work? Let's say I want to rent to own a few products. How do I go about it? And which products do you guys offer?
So we've expanded our range dramatically. Once we were in the house with the TV, we realized that there's nothing that's off limits, providing that we can service it. So everything in your kitchen is really successful for us. More recently, and when I say recently, probably 5 years, we introduced beds, which has done amazingly well in our environment. Our range is very broad, but we're focusing on household electronics and appliances, and obviously the furniture elements. There are some periphery products that we have, lawnmower being one of them. These are big items that you have to fork out money for, which we've tried to solve for. Our process is very simple, Aki, is that you go to our website, you can apply online, you go through a couple of checks. We go through, if all is okay, you can actually check out of our website with a signed contract in under 5 minutes. So everything is available on our website. We've got a competitive advantage in that the difference between credit and rental is whilst we perceived as a credit agreement, we're not. It's just a rental. So we don't have all of the noise that comes with a credit agreement. A lot of people go out, they look at credit agreements, they fall in love with the idea of having an appliance. But when all is said and done, you've got all of these hidden costs that add up. But by that stage, you're too deep into the process and you land up paying 10-50% more than what you initially thought. So our process is quite seamless. We've got our call centers always available to assist anybody who phones in for any questions, whether from an agreement perspective or a product perspective. We've got everything set up, but our website is our storefront and the ability to check out there as well.
And that would be teljoy.co.za.
Correct.
Okay, so you just go teljoy.co.za. Within 5 minutes, you can choose what you want, and it's simply done. What happens then? You guys just deliver the items to my house? I mean, what's the process after that?
So once you submit that application and contracts, my team will phone you. We'll create a little concierge service, make sure that the stock is booked, and we arrange delivery, and it will be in your house, delivered, installed at your convenience.
That's amazing. And you've got quite a broad catalog, and I see even recently you guys added baby goods. I thought, why baby goods to your catalog of products? And you've got pricing from as little as 159 Rand a month. Now, it makes sense, because if you've got a young baby and you want to buy a pram, for example, you're not going to need the pram after 5. So it makes complete sense. So why is embracing rent to own on these particular products a smarter way to parent?
Anyone who's had kids understands the expensive nature of getting into that, particularly if it's your first. I mean, we rolled out the red carpet for my first. The third one wasn't so lucky because we had everything. But the truth is that it's a massive outlay. It's the same as moving house. You want to make sure that your kids got everything, and you as a parent have everything that you need. But again, those items have a shelf life. There is no reason to lay out all of that capital, particularly when you've got the price of consumables for a baby is eye-wateringly expensive. If you've ever gone down that road, between nappies and formula, etc. And what we're trying to do is alleviate that pressure. The baby goods range is really an opportunity for us to bring in a different customer, an emerging sort of younger audience that allows us to create part of the data that I went back with. We've got life cycle data that shows they'll buy a pram now, then when the playroom comes, they need a small little TV. And then You know, if you don't have kids, if you've got kids, then you need a tumble dryer, you need a bigger tumble dryer, you need a bigger washing machine. Eventually, you've got a big family room, you need a bigger TV. So that's the type of product set that we like. Is there's a long tail and a long relationship that we create with our customer. We thought to ourselves, we're already in the family room and in the kitchen. Why not get in at the ground floor, so to speak? So we're quite excited to see where this takes us. And I believe that it's really got some great traction, and we're really excited to see where it goes.
No, it's super exciting. It makes complete sense as well. I see that I was on your website. You're running a competition with a grand prize of a Suzuki Swift, which is quite cool. How does this competition work?
So very simple. Any customer of ours who either refers a potential new customer, any new customer who takes out a unit, or an existing customer who adds to their product set gets an automatic entry. And then it will build up over time, and then we'll do the entry, we'll do the draw, and somebody's going to be lucky enough to drive away in a brand new car.
Okay, that's brilliant. Now, with every business today, and I think it's just part of the growth and the loyalty and everything, which I want to talk about your loyalty program as well, but you've got a referral program, and I recently recommended a service to a friend who added me as a referral, and I landed up getting rewarded because of that. And I thought, you know, it's a pretty cool process. And you guys have got a referral program as well. And how does it work, and how does it add value to your customers?
So from a value perspective, you know, we've always believed that we've got to turn our customers into our marketing machine, and we don't want that to go unnoticed. We offer, for every successful referral, we offer you a 500 Rand voucher, either in electricity, fuel, or groceries. It's very straightforward and very simple. And it does incentivize a lot of our existing customers to go and talk us up amongst their friends, because as we know, referral and loyalty is, you know, in this environment, average service is easy to come by, but you need to have amazing service to really just be different to everybody else. So we do believe that it is our a USP of ours to be able to give that service. So the referral program is simply an opportunity for us to thank our existing customers for the work that they do on our behalf, and hopefully we can create value for them.
And also, it's testament to the incredible service that you guys provide, because you're not going to recommend somebody if they provide a terrible service, which is great. You know, I've had great service from Teljoy. I recommend you use them, and then, you know, I get rewarded for that, which is fantastic. Now, you've also got a reward program for your existing customers as well, almost like a point system. You know, all the different reward programs you see out there. Tell us about Teljoy Rewards and how does that work?
So our Teljoy Rewards program is very simple. For a nominal fee, you get tangible value of over 1,500 Rand per month. And I think that that's the one challenge that you've got with loyalty programs, is that, you know, sometimes a loyalty program, in order to participate, you need to know the number of spanners in the average toolbox in somebody's toolbox somewhere, and you know, it's quite complicated. Ours is very simple. We give you vouchers, 2-for-1 vouchers, or day outs for families, restaurant vouchers, sweeps out vouchers, one card vouchers, and all you've got to do is redeem it. In addition, we offer a maintenance plan for your other appliances, not necessarily with Teljoy, as well as pothole and road cover assistance. So all of these are included in that fee, and it's an effort for us to create real, tangible value for our customers that we can execute. And in fact, unlike other loyalty programs, we really push the utilizations. We want people to use that because we want to create value for a nominal fee. We create value for customers, and I'm pleased to say that the utilizations on that rewards program has really been great. And I'm pleased to say that our customers are using it, and I hope that more people will use it.
That's amazing. So, Jonathan, I mean, where are you taking this business next? I mean, we spoke about baby goods. Like, you guys literally do everything in the house. and it's quite a broad range of goods that you can rent to own. And I imagine that comes with its own challenges with the warehousing and having a plethora of products like that. But you've got to listen to your customers, you've got to provide that. But where are you taking the business to next, Jonathan?
We've got some exciting stuff happening. You know, we've created a product called FlexiOwn, which is it's an e-commerce plugin where you as an e-commerce provider will be able to provide another payment option for your customers through Teljoy, but through a brand that we've created called FlexiOwn. We are continuing to offer different products and increase the range as we see our customers need it. We have incredible relationships with our suppliers, and we are at the forefront of any innovation coming through. So we certainly spend a lot of time on the tech, and we're hoping to make this process much easier for customers and much simpler, and offering it directly to consumers through other partners to make sure that everybody can participate in this accessibility revolution.
Fantastic. What a wonderful success story. Such a pleasure talking to you, Jonathan Hurvitz, CEO at Teljoy. And it's part of South Africa's heritage brands. I mean, been around for such a long time and evolving and doing stuff in the future. Great to see you guys doing so well. Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us.
Aki, thanks for having me as always.